sky. Take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines, but always know that you'll be safe. I'll be here throughout your days. Come find me and we will play.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what is round 3 of the Amigos Racing Endurance slash Sprint series. Today, as I was just saying, we're at Watkins, Glen here for the round 3. It's an hour and 30-minute race here. However, this is the little plot twist. I've got something really important to do at the hour dead mark of this race. So what I'm going to have to do is actually end stream early once again, which I do apologise in advance, but I am going to have to do that. But for every other round, I think every single one will be a full broadcast. This one is something that I've had scheduled for a while, so we'll get into the race now actually, as we do see the Patagara Racing livery that is working now, as I've had a lot of talk with the owner, actually currently in P2, Mr. Bocky, both running the Patagaru livery here, both look amazing livery here, both on 1 and 2 here, separated by 7/10, which is quite a lot here for a split 2 server, but it seems Regatti is quite a bit of an alien here. So 144.3. But obviously, I haven't actually raced this track since 1.8, and I tried a few laps yesterday, and I was doing around the 143.8 marks, but I wouldn't really class myself as a rookie anymore. I don't race as much as I used to, which sometimes you could say is a good thing because I'm doing commentary more, which I do very much prefer. But there is aspects of racing I definitely do enjoy, but I just enjoy commentary a lot more. However, we are seeing Mr. Bocky coming across the line here to try close the gap between teammates of each other to the gap down to 0.2 of a second here, which is still on for a 44.6, but is still actually improving. Well, was improving and then went off into the grass. However, we do see Johan here trying to get better time here to Robertino in the Red Bull Miami, going into sector 3 now. Just getting a bit of understeer there on the car, which isn't going to help him very much, but he's going to get held up by traffic there. Quite a bit of hold up there from him, losing quite a bit of time, and unfortunately going to have to back out of that lap time there for him. However, we do see Andrea Batek in his brand new livery, looking great. Going into the end of sector 1 here, we're going to see any sort of improvement. Is losing quite a bit of time there after the very inaccurate right-hander, shall I say, because I hate the corner. But we do also see Guy also starting to improve his lap time quite a bit, but just losing quite a bit. But it does seem he does have traffic in front of him as well, which isn't going to help him at any sort of time. Both of these cars going to get in the way of each other. It doesn't seem they are. However, we do see Batak going 4/10 quicker so far. Is this going to be enough to get him onto the podium positions provisionally? Possibly, if he can keep getting the lap times up just a tiny bit more, which he seemed to kind of struggle through heel there and the boot. Gaining quite a bit of time there before on the penultimate corner, going into the final corner. Isn't improving his time too much. It's not going to be enough time, losing quite a bit of time. Only enough for P5 there for Andrei Patek at the time being. However, we do see Neil Archer in the ST Racing. BMW trying to improve. Losing quite a bit of time there. Going into the heel now. Is he going to lose any more time? It seems he gained quite a bit of time through there. Very difficult corner to master, but very, very quick to go through if you can nail it. Most of these corners here are very, very off camber. They're quite difficult to track. Going through here for the final part of the track here for Neil. Currently still 4/10 up in his personal best lap time. Going on to the final straight. Is it going to be any sort of improvement here for him? Going across the line now. It's going to be P7 there from P11. Quite a significant provisional improvement there for Neil. As we do go further down in the grid to see if we do see anyone else going. However, we do see Martin Bryan going into the first corner, who was just a 10th up, but then unfortunately lost all of his time there. If he's going to gain that back into sector 2, we'll see going through the S's now for him, heading on straight before the bus stop. Easily the most difficult corner to master on this track, but luckily ACC suspension is a lot better than iRacing, and you can actually take the curb a lot more than you would be able to in iRacing and other games and such as that. However, we do see Tim Smeech, who was a very, very good and strong contestant in the last race, currently in P20, trying to look to improve his lap time here. Currently 3-ish, 10th up in his personal best lap time. Is anything going to happen here for them? Just losing a bit of time there on the straight before heel. Is it going to affect him too much? It seems it hasn't. Going through heel gains a lot of time there. just over 4 tenths, but losing a bit on the exit there. But is it going to improve him any more there into the penultimate corner? It seems so. He's just under 4 tenths on his personal best, going into the penultimate corner. Turn, I think it's turn 15. And turn 16 here, just 5 tenths. This will be quite a significant improvement if he can manage to get the lap time nailed. Seems to get it done all the way up into P13 there for Tim Smee. However, we are starting to see a drop off of everyone. However, we have just seen Regatti set a 1:44.3, which is an absolutely great time here for the split 2 server. Going on back on with Martin Bryan. Seems to lose all of his time once again. Not as strongest of corners there, turn 1. But still trying to gain on time, and it is definitely possible to gain on the time. However, we do see Alex North, though, going into the S's, gaining quite a bit of time there. 2.5 tenths or more at the moment. Going into the biggest straight here. Followed by bus stop. Is he going to manage to get any sort of improvement here on his time? Obviously, they're all, well, they all should be on the drier compounded tyre, and hopefully all of these tyres is not worn out yet. No spins have happened so far, as we are seeing quite a bit of improvement from a lot of drivers now. This is where we're going to start to see the provisional pole and stuff become at risk here. So we do see, as well as that, Mark Brown going into the bus stop, 7 tenths up on his personal best lap time. Same with Paolo going into the straight before bus stop, 4 tenths up on his personal best lap time. A lot of drivers here with improvement so far. We also see Pistorius 6-ish tenths up on his personal best lap time going into the final corners here. The final lineup of corners, gaining quite a bit of time, 6.5 tenths at the time being. Is he going to mess up at any point? Hopefully not on his behalf. This will definitely improve his lap time quite a bit here if he can manage to get it done, as he does just go across the lap time there for P5, as we do see the man himself, Regatti, also improving on his lap time, just under 10th at the moment, to try and gap him out with his teammate Bocky at the moment. Seems both of them are quite close at the moment, but I don't think it's close enough for Regatti to be worrying just yet. But we will have to see, as we still got around 10 minutes left of qualifying. So we do see Paolo 1.6 seconds up on his personal best lap time. Fortunately, I don't think he's set a valid lap time yet for himself, and he backs out of the lap, which I don't think he shouldn't have had to do there, as he is very much on the hot lap there for himself. Joseph Attenborough, sorry. Just going into the first corner there, isn't seeming to improve too much just yet, losing a lot of time going into the S's, just keeping the lap time absolutely dead right now. Dead on with his last lap time, losing quite a bit of time, just 2,000 of a second, losing through the S's, going on to the straight before butt stop. Doesn't seem he's going to lose enough time to do anything. However, we go into Paolo once again, who I don't think has been very confident with traffic at the moment. 8 tenths up to his personal best lap time once again, as we saw earlier. Trying to get a valid lap time in for himself. Going into bus stop, goes quite a bit late there. Goes a tiny bit wide, not taking as much as Apex as he can, but still improves up to 1.1 second on his personal best. We do just want to quickly go to Fleming Lloyd here, who's just going into the bus stop as well, where everyone seems to mess up just a tenth up. Loses all of his time though, unfortunately, but tries gaining it back, and he does, going into the fast left-hander. Just keeping his time. It's fluctuating quite a bit between 1.5 tenths to 1 tenth there, as he does just go fastest in that sector for himself just now. Will he be able to improve as much as he has been? Oh, people we do see getting quite good lap times is both Darren Christie and Martin Bryan, both in similar parts of the track next to each other, both going into heel very, very soon. Both around 5/10 up on their personal best lap time. However, Martin does lose quite a bit of his lap time there. Gains a significant amount there, but it's not going to be enough as Darren. This is where we're going to see, hopefully, battles for positions arising as we just go into the last 8 minutes of qualifying here. Quite a hot track, but it's around perfect, we would say, for these cars, as we just see Martin going across the line now. 4/10 up on his personal best lap time. This is going to be enough to put him in P19. However, Darren also about to go across the lap time. 9/10 up on his personal best lap time. And just keeps himself in the same position, it seems. I don't think he managed to keep it in valids, which is very unfortunate for him. But we are going to have to see if anyone else is improving, as we do see everyone seems to be in pit still. So we have seen the leader sell 1:44.222. Best lap time of the session so far. Do you just see people pulling off here, trying to get a new set of tyres before the end of qualifying? Obviously, you probably have enough for about 4 or 5 laps, maybe a bit more. So we do just see though Mark Brown once again improving on his lap time. Is it going to be enough? At the moment, it does seem he is significantly improving on his lap time. Gets a bit of oversteer into bus stop, not going to help him out there on his time. So we just see him lose all of his time there. Unfortunately, going into the fast right-hander, just over a 5,000th of a second up on his personal best lap time. Can he gain it back though into sector 3? At the moment he can. We do see our yellow flag there on track, but it seems they have returned to garage, which isn't going to affect Mark's lap at all, which is good. However, we do see Darren Christie once again going into the final corner. 8/10 up on his personal best lap time. This would put him up into P21, P22 even. If he can get this lap sorted as he goes across the line now to get P22 in the bag there, but unfortunately it seems to be again an invalid lap time there from him. Martin Bryan once again 2.5 up on his personal best lap time going into the SS. Does seem to have traffic though, which isn't going to help him there, but I don't think that car is going to hold him up at any point, because I think that is Mr. Fleming Lloyd, who is in front of him in track, separated by 2 tenths between them both. Martin Bryan though going through bus stop, gaining quite a bit of time there on Fleming. Is Fleming going to interfere with his lap time? It seems Martin does go quite wide there into the fast right-hander there. Still gains quite a bit of time though. Going into sector 3 now. Fleming does just seem to let him pass, which is very kind of Fleming there. 4.5 tenths up on his personal best lap time. Darren Christie also just behind them, as you can see. Also 8 tenths up on his personal best lap time. Is he going to manage to set this as a valid lap time this time? We'll have to see. Joseph Attenborough just going a bit wide there, it seemed, going into pit, going onto track. Do you see Martin Bryan going into the final few corners? Is this going to be any sort of improvement here for Martin? At the moment, he does seem to be improving quite a bit, just 5.5 tenths up on his personal best lap time as he goes into the final corners now. Just gets that corner right. Not taking too much apex though, so not using as much as the track as he can. Goes 5 tenths fastest and goes into P12. However, we do see Darren Christie crossing the line as well. Is it going to be a valid lap time? Yes, it is. Jumps up into P21 for a 1:45.9. As we do see just Martin off in the... I think that's just the overrun. We do see Guy also coming into the final corner. 5 tenths up on his personal best lap time. Is it going to be enough to go into a different position? Yes, it will. This will potentially be enough for the podium, as we can see provisionally it is. However, we do see Mr. Regatti once again improving on his lap time. Not by much yet, but this is only the first few corners of the laps. We might be able to see another improvement here by Mr. Regatti. But a person we haven't seen today is Perna in the EOS Esports Ferrari racing car, going into Sector 3 very soon before the hairpin. Just a 10th up on his personal best lap time. This will be enough for P3 provisionally if he can keep the 10th, as they are just separated from dead on a 10th between them both. We do see now Regatti improving quite a bit on his lap time now, 1.5-ish tenths on his lap time. Are we going to see him creep into the 43s, do we reckon? I don't know at the moment. Does oversteer there and unfortunately loses all of his time there. 3 minutes left of qualifying here. So we do just go further down to see if anyone else is here. Samuel Disco, Art of Racing, Aston Martin in the bus stop now. Currently just 1 and a bit tenths up on his personal best lap time. Goes through it, gains about 2 tenths there, but goes into the wall, and that's not going to help him for his lap, unfortunately. And unfortunately, he's not going to have enough time to have an unpressured lap, and probably if he can get out now, get to round 1 lap. However, Batek also trying to improve, trying to take P7 and possibly P8 and P7, P6 and P5. Going into the straight before the heel now, about 1.5 tenths on his personal best lap time. We will just have to see if he can try and keep up. It doesn't seem he is being able to, but on the exit does lose all of his time. Unfortunately, just about 2,000 for the 2,000 of a tenth between him, and unfortunately losing it there going into the penultimate corner. We do see Dan Paul, someone who we haven't seen today, going through heel, just on the edge of losing his lap time there, just gaining about 3,000 for the second. We do just see him coming into the penultimate corner, gains quite a bit of time, 1.5 tenths. This will be enough for P14 if he can stick the lap time going into the final corner. Around 1.5 tenths. Shit, is it going to be enough? It is going to be enough for provisional P14. However, Ringston isn't out on track, so that will be a final position there for Dan, unless the others can improve. And who is looking to take that position is Tim Smee. Going into bus stop here, 2.5 tenths on his personal best lap time. Just losing it though, unfortunately, going into bus stop. Is he going to try and gain it back at any point possible in sector 1 and 2? We'll have to see. However, Dan Paul is once again improving on his lap time, about a tenth going into the bus stop. Does go a bit wide there. Is that going to affect his lap time? Yes, it is. And goes off into a wall. No wonder he's gaining about 5 tenths. So you do just see no one else improving lap times apart from Paolo, who's coming into the final penultimate corners here. Final penultimate, that doesn't make sense, but just go with it. Just see him about 6 tenths on his personal best lap time. Will this be enough at P29? In his case, it seems it might be able to if he can just commit. And goes across the lap time to take P29 by 2,000th of a second there. Very unfortunate, and won't have enough time to get another lap in after he invalidates it there. Neil Archer coming into the penultimate corner now. Just goes very wide there, and that's going to be an unfortunate invalidation there of a Perna, who's going to set the last lap time, I think, in the Ferrari Racing EOS Esports. Just going into sector 2. Does seem there is a car slow on track on the mini-map, but seems to return to garage, which is good. Currently around a 10th on his personal best lap time. Is it going to be enough, as he's losing quite a bit of lap time here before going into sector 3? Loses all of it, unfortunately. Oversteers quite a bit into that corner. I think he went on the grass a tiny bit there, losing quite a bit of time. However, we do see Jack Christie going into the penultimate corner, 4,000th of a second up on his lap time. Takes that exquisitely, 1.3 up. Is it going to be enough? Loses quite a bit, just under a tenth here. And he goes across the lap time to take P10. Quite a significant improvement there from Jack Christie in the 3CD Racing as he tries to do a donut. As we just go now into the intermission for the time being. Very, very good start here from very promising. Seeing the lap time shit quite spaced out, you could say, at the moment. But I feel like this is something that is going to happen on a track that isn't everyone's favourite track. And I don't think Watkins Glen gets raced that much. It's the same with tracks like Laguna and stuff. They don't get raced enough to have a lot of knowledge from people there. So what we're just going to have to do is wait for the server to turn over and see what will happen, as we do just see the server is trying to tick over now. As we do see our order, as we do see Regatti is about 4/10 from his teammate there, who is in P2. So Patagero Racing are definitely looking to get the P1 and 2 here for the championship. Regatti, who is definitely quite far ahead in the championship right now. Can Bocky try and chase him up? We'll have to see later on into the season. Obviously, this is quite a big race tonight. An hour and 30 minutes, so there is definitely going to be a pit stop here. If people are going to take tyres, that is something we'll have to see. If people are going to take fuel, that is 100% going to happen. Because I don't think, don't think these cars will do an hour and 30 in lap time, as we do just see crowds. Well, you can't see them. I feel like the crowds are just a bit fluctuating there in ACC. I think that might be a bit of a bug there. It seems everyone does have custom livery as well, which is very good to see. As we just wait for the server to tick over once again. Just stick it back with a tiny bit of music. Just as we wait. So you can't hear it, so I'm just going to quickly change that now. As you should be able to hear it now. We just see the server tick on now, as we do see the penalties are getting added from last race. Success penalties, just to be precise, as it is a mandatory 2-stop race today for this mini endurance race here at Amigos Racing. As we are just going to wait for the server to go live, so I am just going to do what we do best now and just track you on with a track guide. Hopefully help a few people out if they need it.
Track guides, and in this video we're looking at Watkins Glen, which was recently introduced in the new DLC for ACC. We're in the McLaren 720S GT3 car today. Now coming down towards the first turn, we're going to want to look out for the 300 and the 200 boards on the left. We're going to be braking just before the 200 board, as I've marked out on the screen there. Now coming into the braking zone, this curb on the inside, it's kind of weirdly shaped. It steps up about halfway in, so make sure you don't go too much onto it. Avoid stepping up there, it'll push you wide. And then on the exit curb, you can run all the way to the exit of the curbing, but don't go outside of the curb because that will invalidate your lap. Now up this hill here, we want to keep our line as smooth as possible. We have this curb on the inside here. Don't run too much over it, because I've found that the car gets it handles a little bit weirdly if you run too much over that curb. So just keep along the white line, and you want to have the smoothest line possible here. You can use a little bit of that curb right there, and just stick your car right along this curb here. And you want to keep your steering inputs as straight as possible. Now towards the chicane, which is arguably the most difficult part of this course, we're looking for the 300 board there. We're going to be braking just at or just after it, and we're going to be angling towards this curb, this first curb that we're going to be attacking here. Hard on the brakes, and as we lift off the brakes, we turn towards the curb. We want to be going in a straight line, narrowly avoiding the wall, cutting right over the curb though. And then as we get back on the road, we're braking a little bit, slowing the car down just a little bit more, using all of this inside curb, making sure we're using the most of the track. As you can see, the tarmac just on the exit of the curb there, then accelerating about halfway through the chicane, using the inside curb once again to straighten our line and open our line up for the next curb at the exit of the chicane, cutting right over the final curb here. Try avoid cutting over the grass because that'll ruin the next corner after this. So using all of this curb, now already attacking this next turn, turning towards it. We're not going to be going all the way to the left of the circuit because we don't need to, and with different cars we will have to attack this corner slightly differently. With more understeery cars we'll have to lift it a little bit earlier and be a bit more patient with the throttle, but with this car we're lifting at the white sides on the right there, coasting, and as we see this off-road on the right, or that row of trees on the left, we're going to be beginning to accelerate again just after this, picking up the throttle about halfway through there, then running the car all the way to the outside of the track. And you want to pretty much bring it all the way out to this left curb here. Don't go any wider than this because you can risk invalidating your lap, or if you're going any wider than this you're probably understeering through the corner we just went through. Here there's no real strong braking reference, but there's a little line in the middle of the track. We're going to brake a couple car lengths after that. Now braking here hard, and we want to go quite deep into this turn and apex fairly late in this turn. There's those signboards on the right there. We're going to accelerate around about where those are, or just after if you're going a little bit too narrow. Carrying the car all the way to the outside curbing again. Just don't catch the grass. You'll probably lose a little bit of time if you get on that. Now down for the next turn here, we're looking for the 100 board. We're going to be braking pretty much just before that and going down the gears. We're going to again be aiming for a later apex on this turn, and also again trying to keep off that inside curb because it can really unstabilize the car. I think I just catch it here, but it's not too bad. We're going to be picking up the throttle just before those rebellion signs appear on the left side of the fence there. So just before we reach it, we're picking up the throttle, and in a lot of cars you have to be very gentle with your throttle inputs there, otherwise the rear will stick out. Running the car all the way to the exit there, right near the grass but not onto it. Now down to the next turn, we're looking for the 200 board, and we're going to be braking after that, about halfway between the 100 and the 200, but closer to the 200 there. Braking hard here and shifting down to second gear. We want to have another later apex right here, or about a mid to late apex, and another corner where we have to be gentle picking up the throttle, or the rear end will move around. Picking it up and using the track that's available, running out to that strip of lighter concrete on the left side there, making use of all the track. Then back to the right, we're looking for that second sign. Hopefully nobody will take that out, but we want to be braking just after that and aiming closer towards the inside of the track here while we're braking. We don't want to be too wide out on the track and have a very late apex on this turn, because you don't want to apex too early or you're going to be costing yourself time picking up the throttle again.
That's right. Obviously I'm the best person when it comes to trying to time stuff. Just going to have to cut that tiny bit short, unfortunately, as we do see all of the cars going on the formation lap as we wait for the lights to go green here at Watkins Glen. Just seeing all of the cars now trying to get in formation. Hopefully nothing bad will happen for the start of this race, as we do just wait as we go further and further towards the corners. You just wait here as we are about to go green here at Watkins Glen here for round 3 of the Amigos Racing, as we do see a 4 wide there down at the back. Going down here with Regatti does seem to get through just fine at the time being, but we do just go further back. So we do see Joseph Attenborough go off in the side there. Not going to be the best starts of race for him as we just go further back in the grid. So it doesn't seem much carnage has happened here, as we do see Joseph Attenborough has managed to recover it fine. So we do see another tiny bit of an incident there. Guy going into another car, and that's going to cause a multi-car pile up there. And that's very unfortunate for Guy and the other cars that were involved there, as we go back on board with Regatti trying to get back from his teammate here. Bocky once again trying to put pressure on Regatti, but not enough pressure for the time being, as we do wait here until we see a load of penalties. Again, those are just success penalties, so I'm going to clear up once again. As we do go further and further, as it seems Bocky goes a tiny bit wide there. As we go further back through the field, as we do see a bit of a big battle here. Aaron Sparks trying to get the move done on the lot. Martin Bryant doesn't seem to be doing it too well just yet, and just gets it fully putting a lot of pressure there. That's not going to be enough for the time being, as we do wait and see a lot of the cars. Just see as we do see another spin there, and that is unfortunately, that is Sylvian Piastri, who does just unfortunately cause a multi-car pileup, and that is going to be that's very unfortunate there for Alex as well. He's unfortunately going to be out of this race as well, and goes back to pit, as it seems he can't recover that damage, as it seems Pistorius is trying to get back to pit. As we do see Jack Christie trying to go side by side here, just gets a move done, and he gets tapped there by the Gatorade car, as he does go wide there and just has to clear himself out of the battle for the time being, as he's got to try to get a slipstream here. As we do see the Gatorade car trying to get Tim Smee getting past, going side by side into the first corner. Seems Simon Van isn't going to let that happen just yet, as they go side by side into the S's. Obviously Smee has the first part of the S's, but isn't going to have much more of the S's right here, as it's very even here. Simon Van just gets overtaken there, and unfortunately for Simon Van, just gets overtaken there by Jack Christie as well, as we now see Simon Van down into 8th position for the time being. Do just go further back in the box. We do have seen Aaron Sparks trying to get a move done there, and Dan Paul isn't happening just yet, as he's got pressure, a lot of pressure there from Disco and V behind him. However, we have just seen Martin Bryan just getting a tiny bit too much curb there, unsettling the car, but luckily keeps it out of the wall. Going side by side once again with KV, doesn't seem to work in Martin's favour just yet. Unfortunately, we have seen another collision here of both cars. It seems, is that going to be any incident that we need to report on, as we are just going to see? Unfortunately, it was just a bit of a spin there. It doesn't seem the other car was involved in that spin, and we are just going to have to see what happens with that later, as we do just go further back through the field to see if there are any more battles happening here on track. It does seem we are losing battles quite significantly due to a mass amount of carnage that we did see. But we do see Aaron Sparks once again trying to put pressure there on Dan Paul to try and get a move done after the first lap here. Doesn't seem it's going to be working just yet in Aaron's favour, but obviously he's still got Aaron 26 to try and get the move done, and hopefully he can make more by that time. So we just see him going in the slipstream, as we do see, I think that's Simon Van trying to get a lunge once again on Disco. Doesn't seem to be working there in his favour, as we do see Neil Archer just trying to get a slipstream there on the broken Ferrari. Doesn't seem to be working yet, as he's trying to go side by side, but doesn't unfortunately have the overspeed there. But we do have the biggest straight here now before bus stop, as they try to go side by side, as it seems Neil Archer has forced side by side, but has forced the inside line. But doesn't seem to be working there in the Ferrari's favour. See at the end of the line, but it seems Neil Archer has just gone a tiny bit wide there. Goes on the curve there, nearly, unfortunately, takes out the car. So we do see a freeway battling occurring behind us as well. Just a bit of a love tap from all of the cars, as it does seem they all just get past as fine as they can. To just go further and further back now, trying to see if there's any more moves happen. Aaron Sparks once again trying to make a move, but it does seem he got past the Ferrari that he's been attacking for a while, but now on the back of Neil. Neil, is he going to make it work? Neil Archer quite good under pressure, but seems trying to make a juke there. Aaron Sparks doesn't fall for it though. Just seems they are trying to go side by side. Aaron is trying to force it now into the final few corners, but isn't going to work just yet. So we are just going to have to wait for a longer view here for them. However, we do see Calvi trying to make a move there, and on Disco doesn't seem to work. Puts his nose out saying I'm here, but isn't going to have the overspeed to try and go side by side. We do see Neil Archer trying to keep up with Aaron Sparks. Aaron Sparks obviously going side by side here now with Neil Archer. However, we do see a Ferrari trying to poke his nose out as well, as this going to be a freeway gap into the first corner, as we do see Disco also trying to get a move done. Neil Archer unfortunately losing the place here to Aaron, and he's going to lose the place here to Dan Paul as well. Is this going to be the same with Disco? Seems Disco is going to have to try force his nose out there to try to get it done. However, we do see Aaron Sparks trying to get a move done. As it seems Danpool just goes into the wall there. That's very unfortunate for Danpool, but manages to save it. That's going to be a lot of damage here, though. Neil Archer trying to get closer there to Aaron Sparks to get the position done, but he tries to go for a lunge there. Doesn't quite think of it. Aaron Sparks does get away here, superior for the time being. So we just go further back to see Danpool once again going off in the runoff area. Isn't going to help him yet. Seems a lot of damage though, unfortunately, to that right side of that car. So we just go further back. We do see a lot of cars that aren't retired yet, but are unfortunately involved in quite a big incident. As we do see Mark Brown getting a yellow flag there. Don't know what that's for. As we do see a side-by-side here. Verm and Martin Bryan trying to keep up with each other. It seems Verm doesn't come in superior for this. Tries to juke him a tiny bit. Doesn't fall for it, Martin Bryan. We also do see Danpool involved with this three-way battle as well. 3 Ferraris. We see one with a lot more damage than the rest. However, we do see Martin Bryan trying once again to try and put a bit of pressure on Danpool to see if he cracks under pressure. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. So it does seem they might have a bit of a slipstream war going into the first corner. Do see, it seems Dan just goes into pit there. I think he definitely needed to, unfortunately, with the amount of damage he does have after that unfortunate incident that happened earlier. As we do see the two chaps here, Martin Bryan and Ringston. No, that's not Ringston, it's Verm. Sorry. Trying to get closer to Martin Bryan. Isn't quite working just yet. However, Simon Van trying to go side by side there with Jack Christie. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. Going through bus stop. Just loses quite a bit of time there, unfortunately, for his case. However, we do see Martin Bryan backing out of a move there, I think, with Vern. I think Vern just get past with a bit of a lunge there through bus stop, as we will just try to get a replay there on the move there, as it seems to just go side by side there. Vern breaking a lot later there, sweeping through. That was very dangerous there from Vern, but manages to get the move done. And unfortunately, Bryan is going to be further down the order now for the time being. Obviously, we still have 2 pit stops during this race. This can cause a night and day difference with positions. Obviously, you can get penalties. You cannot set up your pit stop right, as I've seen quite a few times in the past, and you have to pit more than one time. Even though it's a 2 pit stop race, you would still have to class. Do you just go further up in the order here? Simon Van trying to put more pressure here on Christie, as we've seen for quite a few laps now. Isn't working just yet in Simon Van's favour. Obviously does have the slipstream though. How effective is it going to be? Goes for a bit of a juke move, but it's quite a few car lengths between them both. Tries to go for another move there, but doesn't think of the better part of it. And just goes for it once again. Carl V trying to put more pressure on Disco, as we've seen earlier. However, this is quite a huge train of cars we've seen. Is this going to cause some sort of issue here? However, we just see Alistair Wright trying to put pressure on the 4882 generations of cars here. Very good to see a 488 still racing, one of my favourite cars. But just seems to unfortunately lose the position there from Alistair Wright. But is that going to lead to him having to have another battle here with the other 2 next gen GT3s? At the moment, it doesn't seem so, as it seems Mars is going to try get a bit of a lunge there. It doesn't seem the other cars go for it at the time being. It's Joseph Attenborough, as you see in the horizon there, with the other Ferrari there trying to get past him. However, we do just see a humongous collision. What on earth just happened there? That seemed like a lot of lag there, as we just go on board to see this incident cam here to go through. The fast right-hander gets a lot of ping issues there, goes into the wall, unfortunately hitting the other cars there, getting stuck in the barrier, reversing on track there, and I think that is going to be an issue there as he spins out as well. That's not going to be a good sign there for Alistair Wright. Goes back to pit, unfortunately. However, we do see Andre Patek trying to battle for the podium with Perna here. Just goes through bust up now. Seems Patek gets a lot of time there on Perna, but is it going to be enough just yet? Doesn't think so. Just tries to put his tail there. Doesn't seem to be working just yet in Patek's favour, but obviously still has an hour and 18 minutes to try get some move done here. Tries to put his nose there and force it on the inside there, but doesn't seem to work. It's too far away for any move to try and happen. However, we do see KV trying to go with a move here on Disco. Goes side by side into the part of sector 2. Seems Disco does have the inside line of the hairpin, but doesn't seem to be effective at all, and Calvi just gets in front. However, is a lot of pressure of Fleming Void. So you do see quite a few AMGs in this race, and it seems Alex North is just getting back up in the order. Just good to see from Alex. We do see a position. This is kind of like a multi-class race now. So we do see a disqualification there at the bottom. I wonder what happened there. It seems Giovanni just goes a bit wide there, doing a very good job to keep that out of the wall. Would not have happened in 1.8, as we do see Joseph Attenborough, unfortunately, car that did get collected in quite a bit of damage, as you can see. Trying to put more pressure on the 488 there of Mars. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. Just pulled over there. I think that is a good sign there from Joseph Attenborough, letting the other cars pass to be a safer driver, which I respect very much there from Joseph. Well done there. Samuel Disco though trying to put pressure there on Fleming. However, Disco doesn't have the issue that he has the issue of Ringston as well behind him. This is going to be quite a big battle here we might see between all of these cars. Obviously there are 30 cars dead on the grid here, but of course one did get disqualified and a few are in pit at the moment, so more like 28 cars out on track at this time being. However, we do see Fleming Lloyd getting a lot of pressure, getting very close there from Samuel Disco, but at the moment we do see they are just breaking apart time a bit. However, Simon Van is trying to get that move done on Jack Christie still, as we've seen for quite a few laps, and is just trying to put a lot of pressure there in the Gatorade livery. Getting onto the slipstream, doesn't seem to be working just yet, but obviously still has quite a few laps to try and do something here. Trying to get his nose a tiny bit of close up, doesn't seem to be working again, as I said earlier, as we do see Ringston getting closer and closer to Disco, and Disco getting further and further away to Lloyd's. This is going to cause a little bit of a battle for a position loss here for Disco. It does seem that might be the case here, looking at the lap times. However, we do see another position here. Seems Merrifield does just get past Mugba here in what I call the target livery. Probably won't appreciate me calling it that, but I'm sorry. Just see going there, Ringston trying to get closer to Disco, isn't working, gained quite a bit of time in sector 2 and sector 3, but loses quite a bit of time into sector 1. Obviously they have the slipstream now. Just having to wait to see if you can get any closer there, as we do see there is a car off there. I don't know whether this seems that is Pistorius, looking like he has more damage here. We'll just get a report here on what happened with Pistorius. Just gets on the curb there, goes into the barrier full speed. That's going to be a lot more damage there. It's that very, very different looking Ferrari with a very bent looking wing there. So unfortunately goes back to pit. Not going to be a race for many people here, as we're just 16 minutes into the race and losing quite a bit of the battle here. Simon Van though still trying to put that pressure on Jack Christie. However, we do see, I think that is might be a back marker there actually. trying to get the position back. Obviously, we did lose quite a few cars here. Unfortunately, 5 cars did have a bit of an early start to their race due to the unfortunate events of crashes happening. Joseph Attenborough trying to get closer and closer here to Mars, as this has been happening for a while, as we do see Paolo Camso in the wall as well. Don't know what happened there, but has a lot of damage there as we go back on board with Simon Van. Doesn't seem to be working just yet for himself. Is he going to try and get some sort of move done anytime soon? Obviously he still has an hour and 13 and 2 pit stops to do, which can definitely impact his race quite a bit with penalties, as I don't think we've seen any penalties yet for track limits. Quite difficult to see, as it seems Jack Christie does force the inside line there, trying not to let Simon Van get it and get past him. Seems this will be a battle that will be going on for quite a while here, as they're very evenly paced at the moment, just around half a tenth between them both in the pace difference from last lap. Obviously we do see the BMW, which may cause this battle to fluctuate a tiny bit, because that BMW does seem quite a bit faster, even though they are a lap down there. I think that is going to be Merrifield. That is not Merrifield. I don't know which BMW that is. It's probably Germany. It is. So that is who's at the back marker there. Not very much of a back marker between them both, as it does seem Simon Van is just less than a car length between them both at the moment. It opens wide a tiny bit going into the final 3 corners. Quite an easy corner to oversteer and go into the barrier here, as we do see Germany just kind of proving our point there, just getting a tiny bit happy on the throttle, and unfortunately just goes on the grass a tiny bit, but luckily doesn't go into the barrier. However, we just see Simon Van go very, very close there to the barrier. So we do see Simon Van just going for a little bit of a juke move, doesn't seem to be working there. It does seem Jack did get quite a bit of oversteer on that curb, unsettling the car. Is this going to let Simon Van get any closer? It does seem Simon Van is getting quite a bit closer there to Jack Cressy. Is this going to be another move that's going to happen onto the bus stop straight? It seems he is getting quite significantly, obviously having that slipstream as well. Tries to go for a little bit of a lunge there, doesn't seem to be working there in his favour. It seems they both do bus stop alright. It does seem it unsettled the McLaren just a tiny bit. Is this going to be any sort of pressure here on Jack that's causing some of these mistakes to happen? But it seems Simon Van is just steadily trying to keep at Jack's pace, as it seems they are doing quite well with each other at the moment. Does just seem Simon Van does just go a tiny bit slow through that corner and loses a tiny bit of time there, which is going to be unfortunate on their behalf. Does just seem they're trying to get further and further, as it seems to just hit each other there, which isn't going to be good, as they're going to get caught to the cars behind there, which is unfortunate for them. However, we do see Martin Bryan going a tiny bit slow there. I think that might have just been a bit of an oversteer moment, as we do just continue seeing what's happening here. Simon Van unfortunately losing quite a bit of time there to Jack Christie after that. Does just seem though an hour and 10 left into this race. We are starting to see the back marker flags being waved. This is because of obviously the incidents that did happen. However, Samuel trying to get closer to Merrifield here in the eBay Motors. So you clicked the wrong button there on my stream deck. Sorry about that. We're back there. This is the only battle here on track that is the closest. Samuel just trying to get the slipstream here on Merrifield. Obviously has the entire straight to do it. Just goes a bit for a bit of a lunge there. Doesn't seem to be working there, just in Merry favour. But hopefully he will gain a bit more time there in the future as he tries to go for another bit of a lunge there. Goes a bit late, but unfortunately loses more time there. Getting a tiny bit impatient. Obviously, he's still got a pit stop to do, both of you. Both being held up in a bit of an incident there. But luckily, you got to do your first pit stop fine. Just starting to see the drop off here of pace on some people, which is causing the battles to start to be lost here. However, we do see Samuel might try to look for a move here. Merrifield doesn't think of it though, which is very good because I felt like that would have been a bit more of a risky move there. Merrifield does go past. However, we do see Rigatti and Bocky still in P1 and P2, around 10 seconds from each other. However, we do see Simon Van here trying to go for a move here on Jack, as this has been happening for quite a few laps. It seems Jack goes very wide there into the apex, trying to until the car. However, Samuel does try to fight back a tiny bit. Unfortunately, loses quite a bit of time there. Is there going to be any sort of retaliation here from Simon to try and get the move done finally? But doesn't seem so. Jack Christie is doing a very good job on getting this position defended, and we continue in. No, I've clicked the wrong button. Uh-oh. Please tell me we're back, Clive. Please. Are we back live? Can't tell. Someone can say in stream if we're back live because I've accidentally just clicked the wrong button here. If we're back live, please just say in chat because I can't actually tell. I'm going to assume we're still live. That was a very rookie area there from me. I think we are still live. Hopefully, as it seems we are. You do just see Simon Van just becoming more and more distance there from Jack. But is that going to change? However, we do see Samuel trying to get a move done. And thing again doesn't seem to be working just yet. Samuel going a tiny bit wide there, nearly letting through the Ferrari there of Robertino. However, he did just let through the Ferrari there of Robertino. Robertino obviously has the favour here, just breaks a bit later. Samuel just lets the move get done there. Goes a tiny bit wider. Is this going to be another side-by-side scenario? Both having the same sort of speed on exit. That is Samuel going to try to get the slipstream into the heel. Doesn't seem he's going to try think of the move. Unfortunately, losing the position there for Samuel. Hopefully he can get it back there for himself. However, we do see Robertino trying to put pressure here once again on Merrifield after the great position there, after overtaking Samuel. Going hopefully side by side now into the slipstream to turn one, goes for it, lunges in the inside, forces it, tries to go for a light dive bomb. It doesn't work, as I just see. Unfortunately, it seems Merrifield does just go a tiny bit wide. That is probably going to be track limits there, as we do see Robertini obviously getting the overspeed here compared to Merrifield. Is it going to help him at all? It does seem it's going to help him quite a lot. Is there going to be a move done into the bus stop? It seems he forces the bus stop inside, but doesn't seem to have the overspeed enough to try and get the move done, as it seems they are just going to stick in the current position for the time being. Does just seem Merrifield tries to defend this move, just tapped themselves a tiny bit. Robertino not probably going to be happy with that, trying to defend himself from Samuel now. Trying to think about going through the inside there. Samuel doesn't get the move done there. Robertino stays in the same position here. trying to catch back up with Merrifield after what happened. So we do see Mark Brown going a tiny bit slow there. We will just get a bit of a replay there and see what happens to cause that little slowdown. Seems right now doing the corner just fine. Doesn't seem anything too wrong happening here. We don't actually get to see what happens. So we do just go back on with Robertino, who just swerves a bit and takes back the racing line there. As we do see Patek there, who is one of the reigning podium positions right now, after unfortunately not having the best of races last time. As we do see a blue flag is being waved, with Robertino unfortunately going to lose a tiny bit more time to Merrifield here to let Patek pass, but hopefully Merrifield has the same sort of disadvantage there and is still at an even playing ground there. As it seems Robertino is just trying to get to straight before hopefully letting Patek by. Seems to be working, which is good in his favour. It seems he's still not let Patek by yet, but it doesn't seem Patek needs to just yet, as it's still around the same pace of each other, and obviously he is battling. So he is just going to have to wait, and Patek doesn't have anything to really worry about. Obviously having about a 6-second gap there. However, we do see Merrifield still defending his position. Patek still using the flashes there, really wanting to get by. Doesn't seem Robertino is going to let this happen just yet. He's still trying to fight here with Merrifield for P17, getting the slipstream. Tries to go for a move on the inside, doesn't seem to go for it though. It seems Patek will force his way through, and it's going to lose a lot of time there for Robertino. As we thought earlier, hopefully Merrifield does get the same amount of time lost, as well, as we do want to see this battle occur once again. To go further up, and we do see Simon Van once again trying to get on Jack Christie. This has been non-stop battle for around half an hour now. Just loses a tiny bit of time here. However, we do see Carl trying to go side by side here with Neil Archer. Doesn't seem to work just yet. Is he going to try get any sort of move done on the straight? Goes for quite a wider line there, loses a bit of time there. However, we do see Neil Archer go into pit, so he gets that position for now. As we do see Mark Brown unfortunately going into the barrier there. What has happened to cause that? We will just quickly check. Seems getting a tiny bit of the grass there. Fortunately trying to correct himself, but does do a very good job and very lucky to keep it out of the barrier there. Robertino once again trying to get closer to Merrifield. Doesn't seem to be working just yet, as he is just going for a lunge there. He tries going for a lunge there, but thinks better of it, I think. Merrifield saw that happening and just had a tiny bit of a reaction to it. As we do see Germani once again in the wall. We'll quickly get a bit of an incident replay and see what happened here to Germani. Just goes into the wall, lightly taps it, but unfortunately seems he might rage quit here, unfortunately, as he hits the wall twice there, which isn't going to help him. Now on the wrong side of the track, and unfortunately it does seem he might retire from the race here. So we do see Robertino once again trying to put pressure on Merrifield. Isn't happening just yet. Seems tries to go for it, doesn't seem to think better of it just yet. Going on to straight, is there going to be some sort of move happening as they try to go side by side here? Robertino obviously gaining the advantage here on the inside line, just tries to get the move done. Merrifield thinks better of it and tries to break later, gets the move, still side by side. Going into the S's here, obviously Robertino has the benefit of both parts of the S's here. Is it going to help him? Just to see, as it seems the BMW's overspeed is helping him quite a lot here. So it seems there is a bit of contact there, and that causes Robertino to spin and go into the wall there. It seems Merrifield does just stay well clear of it, and unfortunately that is going to be Robertino's race kind of ruined here, unfortunately. Just going to see, unfortunately it seems every bout is sort of coming to a closure. Disco trying to get closer here. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. The Fleming. So I will quickly just be taking a 2-minute break so I can quickly go refill my water bowl. So I'll just put you back on with the cinematic for the time being. We are back after that little short break, as we have been treated back with a new battle to see Samuel trying to get the move done on Merrifield. Merrifield not having much of a break during this race, just 3 attempts between them both. So we come on to the 17th/18th lap here now, around the circuit, half an hour-ish into this race. We do see Merrifield unfortunately pulling away quite a bit now after that traffic not helping them out a tiny bit. And we will have to see if any more battles are happening here. However, we are just going to get a bit of a check here on board with Mr. Bugatti, currently in the lead here by 19.8 seconds. We could see it improve quite a bit more in the lap times he's doing. He is doing quite good lap times here. Are they going to improve anytime soon? We'll have to find out. Just around the 20 mark now between them both. As we will just go off board with Bugatti, obviously with Patagara Racing. Same with P2, Mr. Bocchi, going a bit wide there into the hairpin. Got killed 2 times in the race and 3 times in 2 races. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. It's unfortunate. I did see some of the incidents that did appear during the race. And unfortunately, that is just sometimes what happens during the races, and it's just about luck, really, and just trying to avoid battles, even if that is just not qualifying as high up as you usually would. We do just see a lot of people just improving on their lap times once again. That is quite surprising to see, as we're now about 34 minutes into this race. So we do just wait to see if there's any more battles happening here. Weight of time this league. I'm presuming you're supposed to say waste. LFM is more if we can just try to avoid doing incidents in chat, that would be more than appreciated. But I can assure you, from a lot more experience than you would think, LFM is not as clean as Amigos. It's just unfortunate that you've been collected in 2 or 3 incidents in the past 2 races. But that is just unfortunately the luck factor in this race, and you don't want to really just give up during the things. However, we do see Martin Bryan, unfortunately, just spinning out there. And just, oh, it seems just unfortunately hitting the other Ferrari 488 there of, I think that's Mars. So I think Simon just trying to spin back around there on track. You just see Samuel trying to get ever so closer once again to Merrifield. But it seems Merrifield is doing a lot of a job here, trying to get further and further away to Samuel. Just gets a way better exit there than Merrifield, but it does seem it's not going to be enough to try get a move done here so soon, as we just see there has been a yellow flag a bit further down, but it seems it got soared. So we do just go on board with the wing here. That is some beautiful sunlight there. That would have been a very good shot to get. As we just get further and further away here from the sunlight here on Watkins Glen. Just going to see how well the slipstream does here for Samuel on the back of Thomas Merrifield. Seems going on to straight now. Very big gap between them both, about 4/10 of a second. Going down to 3/10 of a second. Not going to be enough though to try and get a move done just yet. Just keep going here with them. Just go onto a blank HUD to see if you can see any sort of improvements here. Seems all of them are just losing battles here. Seems Samuel is just trying to get closer and closer here. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. So we do just wait until the final part of this lap. Just trying to get closer. Doesn't seem to be working yet. Thomas losing a bit of time though. Is this going to be the chance of Samuel to try and get past him? It's going for a switcheroo, but doesn't seem to be working. Thomas Merrifield takes the line a bit wide there, which is going to cause Samuel to go side by side once again with Merrifield. Not going to be enough though to try and get a move done. Merrifield breaks a bit later there, but seems he just narrowly fixes his line there and just gets away swiftly here as they try to go side by side. But it does seem, I think, yeah, just trying to let the car by of, I want to believe that is Carl, just letting him by. That is not Carl actually, that will be Pernod from EOS. So we do see everyone is around doing their first pit stops now. This is where we're going to see cars becoming more and more bunched up, I hope. Just going board here with Ringston trying to get the move done on Joseph Attenborough. Isn't working just yet. Just in Ringston's favour. However, the Joseph does have a lot of damage and doesn't seem to repair it just yet. In pit stops there, it seems Joseph hasn't done a pit stop and Ringston has done a pit stop. So this is kind of trying to balance out the playing field again. Trying to get past all the people he got overtaken by in the pit stop. Seems Ringston is just trying to defend once again, save his position, but I think Ringston is marginally faster at the moment, especially with the damage. That isn't going to help him at all. However, coming back to the battle, we do see Martin Bryan once again catching up to Mars. Is it going to be enough this time to get past successfully without any victims of attack? It does seem they both are suffering from quite a bit of damage now. Both cars should be in for their last pit stop soon, hopefully, to try to get rid of the damage. However, Mars is looking a bit worse for wear. But obviously, he's an older gen car, which might cause difficulties. We just get back to this race a tiny bit more. It does seem we are losing the battles quite quickly now, as we do see some people are coming into the pit. Rogati serving his first pit stop, same with Bocky, both coming out in P4 and P7, but obviously the others have to do their pit stops as well. But it seems Bocky, as at risk here of Pateku, has also done his his first pit stop. So this is where we're going to start to see Battleshare Disco as well, doing his first pit stop. But if we can just refrain from stuff like that, please, that's much appreciated. Just, it's hard to say. It's because there's two servers going on with this race. Just because a few incidents do occur doesn't mean they're necessarily dirty lobbies. It's just the unluckiness you've had being collected in the incident that has happened. Having incidents is pretty much inevitable during races in ACC and just other leagues. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to find it. There will always be at least one incident, not having to be that severe. It's just, again, something you can't avoid from happening, but the only thing you can do to try and prevent it from happening is just be a bit more aware of surroundings and trying to predict what could happen. And obviously what I said earlier, trying to qualify a bit lower so there's less chance of you being in the mid-pack issues, which is usually where your issues evolve around. However, we do see Mars again on the back of Martin Bryan, trying to go for a bit of a lunge there, gets the lunge done, and that was a very well executed move there as he goes side by side. Seems Martin will have the inside line, but unfortunately loses too much time there to the 488. Tries to stick his nose out, and he will have the nose, and the side by side might happen once again. won't just yet, but if he can continue and maintain this distance between both of them, this will be another side-by-side incident. Well, not necessarily an incident. Or as we do see him just going a tiny bit wide there onto the grass. Does just seem both of them are going a tiny bit wide there, as we do see Martin Van and Jack Christie. Jack Christie just getting past to get his position back. However, we might see a bit of a switcheroo here going into the S's. Another side-by-side scenario. Is it going to be enough? As they both contact with each other, and that's going to be Simon Van just saving it from the wall, but it's going to be him down in the order quite significantly. Jack Christie managing to save it with minimal damage as well. Very good there from Jack as we continue with the race. So you do see Disco though further back going once again on, I think that's Dan Poole, as it is Dan Poole. It does seem actually they are separates apart. I think they are laps apart actually, which just shows you how quick the laps are between each other. However, we do just see Bocky here. Hopefully nothing bad happened here with Bocky. Just unfortunately getting tagged a tiny bit there by the 999 car. Hits the wall just a tiny bit. That's not going to help him very much there. Trying to get past. I think that is the... Yes, that is Mr... Who is that again? I know his name, I just can't remember. Yeah, Paolo in the BMW. Unfortunately having quite a bit of damage there. Not serving his second pit stop just yet. It seems like quite a few people. So we do see Aaron Sparks just getting closer and closer there to Simon Van. Is it going to be some sort of meaning? Are we going to see something happening? Doesn't seem so just yet. And Sparks just trying to look for a move on any part you can. Just trying to take the slipstream here of Simon Van. Is it going to work? Obviously Aaron Sparks is ahead of Simon Van by a lap now. This just shows you how separate the cars are. Even though this is for position actually. Seems Aaron Sparks just gets past Simon Van just fine. It does say that. Oh wait, no, I keep thinking of Dan Paul. My brain's going insane now. However, we do just see there was a white flag there, which sometimes means there's a slow car, which could mean an incident. Martin Brown trying to get past the 488 once again. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. In Martin's favour, we'll just have to wait till later to see if there's anything to happen. Seems Martin Brown just gets a bit eager there on the brakes, just loses quite a bit of time there to Mars, and has to try and continue to gain back all of that time. Better trying to get closer and closer here to Ringston. Isn't happening just yet in his favour, as I always say. Just oh, actually, no, that happened very well in Perna's favour there. Just getting past Ringston at 4P6 there. Is Ringston going to have any sort of retaliation? It seemed to go quite wide. Almost like he let him go and had that position. But I don't know if that was intentional or not. So I just want to actually give quite a big shout out to the Amigos League. They are actually the third league I've ever commentated with. in the 5 months I've done commentary with. Starting with, I was actually supposed to be a commentator last season, but I actually couldn't handle multitasking with the commentary and the live stewarding at the both times. So I just stuck with the live stewarding. I was supposed to be with Ricky. That was one server. And now, obviously, there's 2 servers, and there's me doing split 2 and Ricky, the legend, doing split 1. Bit more about myself now. I am now a full-time commentator at Formula Racing League. I did part of the SSRI Silverstone 10 hours on the weekend. That was really good. That was good to meet Chris Hill. That was a very last minute thing to do. As long as I am now pit skill commentator as well, very good friends with Terry now and the others. Hoping to do more of them in the future. I am now doing 4 leagues a week, and they're all great leagues. Very big shout out to Chris Tedder for letting me do this league as well. One of probably my favourite leagues to commentate though. Not because there's as much racing as the others, but it's just because of how well I actually know all of the people there. So big shout out to Amigos for Racing League. Obviously get signed up if you can. I think there's still some spots in, I think, split 2, not sure about split 1, but obviously we're getting closer and closer to the mid part of this round, and we'll probably start hearing Chris going on about rumours for the next season of season 15. Well, hopefully. And obviously get signed up for that league. However, we do see Bocky going on after that very inspirational speech of mine. Bocky putting pressure here on Patek. Patek usually quite good under pressure. Bocky though, very capable driver of doing good time. Should trying to go through the S's side by side, doesn't seem to be working. Just backs out just a tiny bit. Tries to go for the open window. Doesn't seem Patek's close enough for Bocky to try get a move done. Just has to wait a tiny bit. Seems he's just trying to get closer. Isn't working just yet though. Is gaining a tiny bit of time, but it's definitely not enough to think of a move. Just unselling the car there on the curb. Going to lose him a tiny bit of time there, as we do see Aaron Sparks pulled over there. Let's just quickly get a replay on what's happened there, as we just see him going over the curbs there. Just stopping. Quite interesting move there, as we do see the leader and Christie unfortunately getting a bit of an issue there. We'll just see, as it seems Christie has a lot of damage there, so we'll get a 30-second replay. Christie there just by himself, sorry. At the moment, see no signs of Lloyd though, as it seems this might be 2 separate incidents just into the fast 15 minutes. Gets a tiny bit too much curbs, overcorrects the car, goes into the wall, and that's going to be a lot of damage there for Jack Christie after trying to fight for P7. And unfortunately, they might have to try going to the pit there. Flame Lloyd, however, can't say what happened there. Bocky trying to get past you through the acids, gets past successfully for the time being. Patek trying to do another move there. Is it going to work just yet in Patek's favour? So far, Bocky has taken P3 again. But is this going to be for long? As it seems Patek trying to go side by side once again. Obviously, Bocky having the inside line here. As it seems it just both barely get through cleanly. It does seem Patek does take quite a bit of curb there. And it seems Patek is further and further back now. And Bocky is back in P2 for the time being. But with Aaron Sparks trying to get closer to Calvi, that is he going to be able to do it? Soon as it seems he is gaining quite a bit of time there on the straight. However, we do see Disco having a yellow flag there. Does seem to get going once again. However, we do see Aaron Sparks very, very close here now to Calvi. Is this going to be another battle that will happen soon enough? As I have just been checking on the other server, and it seems lucky enough for you guys in Split 2, you have no rain. They have rain. Well, for some people that is very lucky, and some people that's going to be very unlucky. As we do see Aaron tries going for a lunge there on the move there on Calvi, doesn't work just yet, but has to wait for later. Going into sector 2, just tries to force a move there on the inside line, doesn't seem to work just yet, so they try to go side by side. Cal has forced the inside line now, tries to go for a switchback, doesn't quite work because they're quite slow speeds at the moment. However, we have got traffic, which can lead to quite a major characteristic in this race, as we do see Calvi still in front of Aaron Sparks. Not going to be enough just yet to think of a move to be done. However, we do see Aaron Sparks trying to get past, flashing the lights a tiny bit. I don't think that's allowed because they are going both for position here. Don't know if it was a bit of like, we can work together here. I don't think they're in the same team. Around half an hour left now of this race. An hour-ish into this race now. Obviously, a lot of people have done their 2 pit stops here, as we do see Aaron Sparks trying to get closer here. Seems Mars just gets out of the way. A bit of a lunge step by Aaron, doesn't seem to work just yet. Calvi getting a bit afraid there of Aaron Sparks, getting the overspeed there. Aaron, is it going to work into the S's? Trying to get the slipstream. The best part to try and get the slipstream is into the S's. Obviously, you have all of the bus stops straight as well to try and do so, as they try to go side by side here onto the bus stop straight. It seems Calvi has just got the inside lane there, forced it, going into bus stop now. Braking, it seems they both break around the same time. It seems Aaron Sparks does just back out for the time being. Is Cal going to keep that now? It does seem. Mars is trying to get back the position that unfortunately he did crash earlier. And we're just going to have to see what happens later into the future now. Seems just going over a second out on this battle. Joseph Attenborough, on the other hand, is just becoming closer and closer here to Darren. No, not Darren Christie. Don't know who he's getting closer to. However, Patek just coming out of pits, doing his final pit stop here to try and get the undercut on Bocky, as they were very close there. As we do see Darren Christie trying to go side by side here with Patek. They do go side by side, as they both, this is for position now, as they both have done their pit stop. Darren Christie just trying to get the slipstream here into the bus stop chicane. Doesn't seem to be working here in Darren Christie's favour just yet. So we do just see Darren trying to get closer and closer there to Patek. Doesn't seem to be working just yet. Darren just getting a tiny bit too close to Patek there, had to back out in case there was going to be a bit of an accident there. Patek obviously just trying to not get the pressure get to him. However, Darren trying to pull a bit of a juke move there. Doesn't seem to go for any sort of move though, which is quite good there, because that would have probably caused an incident going to heel. Be honest, one thing I have forgot to do, and this is a rookie error from me as well, is I forgot to turn off my radiator, which is right behind me, and it's beaming heat onto my back, and it's just boiling my back alive. I've only got half an hour, so hopefully I can survive half an hour with a boiling radiator. First time I've been in a t-shirt, and it's January. However, we do see Aaron Sparks just getting ever so closer there to Calvi once again. They've been quite at it, both of these, for quite a while. As we do see, it seems that Samuel trying to get back marker of Mars out of the way there. He was just going through general chat now. Actually, before I see that, it seems Perna. Oh no, I thought he had a bit of an incident there, just going into pit to serve his final stop there. Coming into the final 27 minutes, is going to be a bit of a splash and dash. I don't think anyone's taken tyres. However, we do see Aaron getting closer here to Calvi once again. This usually happens into Sector 2, Sector 3, where Aaron seems to be the stronger driver in pace. However, it starts to get lost here into the final part of Sector 3 and into Sector 1. It's a quite an even playground, as I usually say, between these two drivers. It's just all about pace now and just trying to track them down. However, we do see Aaron Sparks does have a lot of slipstream here down the first straight and going into the bus stop S's straight as well. Just start seeing the battles are just unfortunately coming to an end. The only battle here on track is Aaron Sparks and Calvi, who are two drivers that are very, very close in pace. But unfortunately do have to do a pit stop here, as we do see quite a few drivers have done their pit stops. Going further down the grid, we do see everyone has done their pit stops, apart from a few drivers, as we have seen quite a significant decrease in drivers here. Unfortunately, seems quite a few have retired from the race, which unfortunately we have seen a bit of mad people in the chat. It seems, wait, is that true? Rugatti has a minute lead. Hang on, this can't be true, man. If this is true, this is the Max Verstappen. Do just see a tiny bit of a lunge there from Fleming. Doesn't seem to be working just yet in his favour. Obviously, this is, I think, just a back market. It is not a back market, as we do see Bocky in the background as well. And this is a freeway gap here. Apart from, we do see somehow a minute and 10 gap there for Regatti, as we do see Fleming Lloyd just trying to not get pressurised there by Bocky, and hope that Merrifield does just hold up Bocky just a tiny bit in Fleming's case, but Bocky wants to try and get past Merrifield as quickly as he can, but doesn't seem to be doing so just yet. Is Merrifield going to let him by and continue this battle? It seems Merrifield does the good job there and continues this battle going as we go into the last 23 minutes left of this race. So you do just see Bocky going a tiny bit wide there. He wants to try and get his position back after doing his final pit stop. However, he can just chill as Regatti and Lloyd both have to do their final pit stop. It seems a bit of a light flickering there from Merrifield. That's when you know you need to do your final pit stop. But it seems Merrifield has done his final pit stop, but just hasn't selected with damage yet. It's the final 20-ish minutes now of this race. Getting closer here, however, we do see Joseph Attenborough just getting slightly closer there to Simon Van, who has had quite a chaotic race. We will have to see it in the future, though, to see if he gets past. Do you just see the headlights there of all of the cars coming, as we do see the sun is starting to set here in Watkins, Glen, New York. Just seeing the gaps are just starting to come down, however we do see Bocky trying to get back on Fleming Lloyd for that second place position, which would make it a 1-2 here for Patagara Racing. So we have just seen a yellow flag here. That is going to be Paolo going slow into the bus stop, possibly getting bus stop a tiny bit wrong. We do see Perna trying to get on the Archer once again. See the cars are becoming more and more dirty here. Hopefully that's not because of how much time they spent on the grass. As we do see Neil just going very, very wide, hitting the water tiny belt, which lets Perna pass there through quite easily. Seems Bocky is just losing time there to Fleming Lloyd. That's not what you want to see in Bocky's scenario. However, we haven't seen Fleming Lloyd do a second pit stop yet, which is going to let Tomaso, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, buddy. Sorry if I'm not. Bocky to try and get back through. However, it does seem Bocky has quite a bit of damage to that front end of that Patagara Racing McLaren. We'll have to see what happens with that in the future. Seems we do see Dan Paul trying to strike back here on Darren Christie. Is it going to happen soon? Hopefully this will be most likely one of our final battles of the day, as it seems everyone is starting to lose time with each other. So we do see Darren just losing time going onto the straight here of the S's. Going to happen just yet, not just yet. Going through bus stop, losing a tiny bit of time there. Dan Paul to Darren Christie, but at the moment we can't really judge who's faster from the previous laps here, as it seems Darren Christie is falling under a pressure a tiny bit, but is gaining time there on Dan Paul, sorry. Just getting ever so slightly closer there, Dan Paul. Dan Paul just getting a tiny bit loose there, causing to lose a tiny bit of time from oversteer. However, we do see Alex North trying to get back in a position here on Paolo. Obviously two different paces here. Alex North unfortunately getting a lot of damage there on the first few laps, trying to get a bit of a redemption arc here, trying to look and move there, as we do see Patek there also wanted to try to get past this traffic as well. It seems Alex North does just get past Paolo here, and Patek flashing his lights trying to get past. Seems Alex North is just going to try and let him pass at any point possible. Don't need to flash that much there. Patek, as we do just go back on with Dan Paul on the slipstream here of Darren Christie. Is he going to try and get a move done before bus stop? He isn't going to get a move done. He's not close enough to try and attempt a move yet. You just see Dan Paul getting a lot better of an exit there than Darren Christie, but obviously Darren does have the inside line here, going very wide. There is going to be a switchback here from Dan Paul. Yes, there is going to be a switchback. It's going to be side by side once again into the straight before heel. Just seems that Darren does lose too much time there and a bit too much speed, and it seems Dan Paul does get the move done, and that will be the move done there for Dan Paul, unless there's some sort of retaliation there from Darren, but it seems at the moment there isn't. does seem we are going to have a bit of traffic that could fluctuate this as well. So it seems Darren Christie does gain a lot of time there due to Paolo just getting in a tiny bit of a way there of Dan Paul, and it might cause another to spark up. So we do see Darren just go for a huge lunge there. It works though as they try to go side by side once again. Dan Paul obviously loses the position there. That was a very good dive bomb there from Darren Christie, and now Dan Paul has to try and get past. However, Darren's probably going to play it extra safe here, trying to not let the move done. Forces the inside line there. Darren is going to try to be a move done before the bus stop. It seems they're going to go side by side. However, Darren does have the inside line, as we've said before, but it seems Dan just takes the wrong line there. Gets spun. However, we see Paolo as well getting spun out, but this causes an all-free incident here, and this is going to have to cause a three-pointer turn here by Darren. And it doesn't seem Dan Paul is moving yet, which is good. However, we do see Paolo just getting in the way a tiny bit. I'm wondering if Dan's waiting for the other car to go. That is very good sportsmanship there from Dan Paul. I do appreciate him doing that, and he's now waiting to get back on the track. And let's just get a bit of a round of applause there for Dan for actually letting the car go. I don't see many people doing that these days, which you definitely should do. Let's just go on board with Alex North. I think my autocam just enabled. Just put my autocam on now. I'm not doing any of the work now. But wow, I forgot it changes all of the cameras as well. And how do you cam here with Guy? Unfortunately, Guy not having the best of races here for himself. So I want to try something out, as we've only got a few laps left. I'm gonna try drone cams shottage. So we'll quickly just go to the... If I can get this working, this will be cool. But I haven't managed to do a cool one yet, as we'll just do it on board with the leader here. We'll just try and get it done as quickly as we can. There's no battles going on, so I'm making my own entertainment here. On board here with Regatti of the Patagara Racing car, and it just looks like a wonderful livery here, going off into the final part of the race here, just the last 10 minutes here. So we do see him catching up to a tiny bit of traffic here. Is it going to affect him in any way, shape or form? You guys can't see this because it doesn't seem to... I have done the right thing. God damn it. So just going board here. Again, as I was just saying with Regatti, just going... Is he going to try get past this traffic as quickly as can? Hopefully he won't lose too much time in his favour. Just gets past Samuel there to keep the lead here. I'm trying to keep this above the car level. This ain't going well anymore. Seems I've angled the camera a bit. I should be doing this. I should be trying to be professional here. But, you know, I'm just trying to make this a bit more entertaining. So just see, the McLaren is a very majestic car. It is definitely one of my favourite cars here in the game. I use it quite a bit more than the other cars. Just see him trying to come close towards... I don't have a big enough mouse pad to get this done, because I'm not using a controller like a lot of people usually do. So actually, if I just increase my DPI settings and go side by side with him here... Oh yeah! That's a picture shot. I've really just lost my mind at this point, haven't I? If we go into the final 9 minutes. We'll do this with another car, actually. And what does Samuel now? car down in P10 here, trying to fight with P9. Just a few seconds between them both. You can see P9 just up the road there. Is he going to be able to get any sort of move done before the end of the race? However, we do see Dan Paul trying to get past and redeem himself. So you can see in the background there. Just going into the final part of the first straight here, going into the first corner. Just gets, as we do see. We do just see Dan Paul as well. Trying to get closer. Doesn't seem to be working though. He wants to try get unlapped here, but doesn't seem to be working. Oh, that was a good drone shot. I'm having way too much fun here now. I don't usually use drone cam because I don't usually know how to use it. We'll quickly do it with another driver to make it fair. Let's try to find P3. Car that isn't so damaged. Quite a few of these cars. However, Fleming Lloyd carrying P3, trying to catch up with Bock. Is he going to able to by the end of the race? Looking at the time score, I don't think he is going to be able to. However, we do the disco in the horizon as well. Is that going to cause another little battle to happen? It might as well happen. Only 6 attempts between them both as we go on to the final part of the pits. Well, not the pit straight, the bus stop straight. Do you just see the other car of Disco behind him as well? Just getting a tiny bit high now. Just getting on top of the car. Just to see if we can see the other car behind him. Does seem we can. Is it going to be enough though? It's gaining the times just a tiny bit now. Getting back on board with Fleming. This is for the battle of the podium. Is he going to be able to do it anytime soon? I don't know if he actually is going to be able to. Only 6 minutes left. Gap is maintaining quite a certain distance so far, but we'll have to just wait up and see. This battle has been happening for quite a while now. Do you see him just losing a tiny bit of time though? So we just stay on board with P3 here. I need to try and make these smoother shots. I need to try get a controller for next time. However, we do see 10 seconds after the pit window, so if you haven't done your pit stop, you might get in trouble here, but it seems everyone has done their pit stop. So we go into the final few minutes of this race now. Pit window now closed, as we do see the final 5 minutes left of this race. Just on board with Disco now, trying to get closer there. Ever so slightly to Fleming Lloyd. Only 4-ish minutes left to do so. Is he going to be able to do that just by the end of the race? We'll have to see, because obviously it's not a lot of time, and by looking at the gaps there, times are very close and even. Just saying, that would have been a nice screenshot to get earlier, but unfortunately I don't have screenshot mode open. Go further on board though. Trying to see if he can catch enough time there with Fleming Lloyd. So far it doesn't seem he is being able to. hits the wall a tiny bit. They're going to lose a tiny bit more time there, unfortunately, to Fleming. But is it 3 minutes left? I don't think he'll be able to do it just by looking at the certain timesheets at the moment. That is going to be an off track, probably a track cut there for Mr. Samuel Disco. No, I'm going into the ground. The final few laps will just do it now with the leader, because he has absolutely smashed this so far. Just on board with the leader's car once again. The only undamaged Ratagaro car at the moment in association with the Amigos Racing League. Causing quite a big gap for each other now between P1 and P2. Huge congratulations for to Regatti for his third win, I think it is, of the season. Currently the reigning Split 2 champion. 2 minutes left of this race. No, if I turn off, quickly go into intermission mode for a second. Got an idea to make this better. If I just take it to blank. Yes. I'm so sorry to the people who actually want to watch this race. I am so sorry. Let's just try to get a bit of a tracking detail now with these cars. Such high quality cars here in ACC. If you don't play ACC, I recommend you starting to play it. Definitely the best game on the market, but obviously we have some very cool competitors coming out soon. Hopefully, if they all go to plan. Obviously, we've got LMU coming this year. We've got AC2 supposedly coming this year, and I think GT Rivals, if I hear James Baldwin correctly in his stream a couple days ago. So a lot of rivalry in games for this year, and we're very lucky to have so many good games coming in this year. Well, of course, the camera to roll quite a bit there. God, these camera quality. Wow. Okay, I did not think I could twist the. How did I do that? Hang on, I've got a very good picture in mind. I'm so sorry for people who were trying to watch this stream. Hang on, I've kind of screwed the cameras up now. God, should not leave a person with ADHD alone. Bloody hell. It's coming on to the final lap now. As it seems now, the leader has just taken the checker flag extremely well down here to Regatti for such a good race. You just see everyone else starting to finish the race now. This has been quite a long race here. 90 minutes here, quite difficult to commentate on when there isn't so much happening. just see the last people coming across the line now. Huge congratulations to everyone who actually did finish this race, because there was unfortunately 8 disconnects to this race, which hasn't been good, but exactly 50 lap ratio of a 44-second gap between P1 and P2, but very happy for Patagaro Racing. He finished P1 and P2. Maximum amount of points you can get for 2 drivers in a race. So you've now seen, I think, everyone crossing the line here. And this is the time to where I apologise for those horrible scenes that I just put you through for the past 50 minutes. But it's unfortunately the thing that does happen sometimes during these races is we do run out of things to commentate on, so I have to try and improvise a bit more. As I will actually be going off to bed now because I am absolutely shattered. So I will hopefully see you whenever the next race is, but I will be commentating on Supercharged next. Supercharged Motorsports for, I think it's round 3 as well of the championship, along with FRO on the Thursday, with Pitskill on the Saturday. It's a very, very, very long week for me ahead, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Have a very good rest of your evening. I've been Aces, commentator for today. Support out Amigos, obviously. Sign up for the next race. Join the Discords. I think everything in the stream and stuff like that. But again, have a good rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys later.